All right. So you said that when a person speaks, I'm sorry, we're continuing Torah Zayin 7 on the second Chelik Likutey Moharan. We are actually holding by paragraph 7, Zayin. What we said before is that when you speak, you give das to a friend, to a Talmud, and that action of getting out and explaining what it is that you know causes the makifim, the surrounding motion, seichel, to come in. That which you know that exists, but you don't know it yet. Basically, the next thing that you will know, as it were. So it's giving emotional. It's like the seichel, like this das, is surrounding you. It's not inside your brain, but it surrounds your head. You don't know it yet. You realize that it's there, but you don't know it yet. So when you speak to somebody else, you give him das, it causes stuff that you knew was there but you didn't know yet to come in, and now you know it. And you get to know it. Now the thing is, it doesn't necessarily have to be, it's like when you give the das out, it's as if you're emptying the place for the new seichel to come in. But it's not necessarily, it's not a linear thing. In other words, it's not like that when you say everything that you know, then something you didn't know until now you know it. The thing is that even when you say the simplest thing to somebody else, but your Shemaim, you ask a question, what are you supposed to do? Go to the army, not go to the army. That in itself is a seichel. And you speak about it, and even if you ask about it, you're teaching your friend. Hey, there is a Shem Yisbarach. There's a need to the army, not to go to the army. You have to go to why not to go to the army? Because there's Torah, because they want to take our children and turning into chilonim, turning into so in itself this is a das amiti. This is a true das. And the thing is, what did I do? I just asked a question. I don't know what to do. I just asked them what to do. No, but that in itself that you're talking about it means you know that it's a subject, you know that it's an important thing to talk about. And that in itself is a das. That causes new das that you didn't know to come in. Where is it? When is it? It'll come in. It'll come in. Now, it may very well be something that your das, the thing that you know, are much higher than that. Than whatever it is you told somebody else. But tell somebody else, you should wash your hands before you make a moitzi. You know a lot more things than that, right? But nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Or somebody who's a big tzaddik, or something very simple to somebody. It also works to put into that great person to bring him his own makifin. And we said that the makifin they belong to a place where there's no time, because time is only applicable where there is a physical reality, where there is a metzius. Like, let's say, now there's a shir, right? We're here. So there is a time before we start the shir. There's the time of the shir. Time after the shir. But if there is no shir, it's not shaykh time, right? And so on, and higher and higher. So when after 120 years, when people leave this world, they get to a realm which is beyond time, because they no longer have to do with Gashmias. So what's the Makifin over there? We said the Makifin over there this is the way the time is measured, according to levels of Seichel, level of Das, that that the neshamas go up year after year after year. And we explained that when we're saying year after year after year, is we went through a very complex explanation last time that whatever it is that we're doing over here on place of time is acting is a simon. It's like a switch that lights up a certain tikkun that euphemistically is called a tikkun of time. For instance, we gave an example. Here's a tikkun of dalad minim. You take the 4 minim, you shakel the lulav, the esrog. This is something that in this world of time and place is only shaykh to do during Sukkot. If you do it before Sukkot, after Sukkot, you didn't do anything. Okay? But the tikkun itself, in other words, the spiritual rectification that it affects the entire year. But the only way that we people who live in the realm of time and place can flip that switch of the tikkun of the dalad minim, which in the Shemaim is beyond time. It fixes us, it fixes our lives, it fixes previous incarnations. It makes tikkunim that we cannot even imagine. But the only way that we can flip the switch is dafka during the time of Sukkot. We take dalad minim and we shakel. This is how we do it here in this world. But in the spiritual world, it happens beyond time and place. Because as we explained, like we went like Rosh Hashanah and Kippur and whatever it is, what happens when during the night of Rosh Hashanah, the first 3 hours of Rosh Hashanah, the second 3 hours of Rosh Hashanah, what happens? Because Baruch Hu is reviewing because we ask, just according to what time? Israel time, New York time, Hong Kong time. When is it happening? First 3 hours of what? Of Rosh Hashanah. Where? In Uman, in Timbuktu, in Kamchatka. Where is the? According to which clock does it go? Well, Greenwich Mean Time. What is happening? The answer is wherever you are as a human being, when the time is for you right now, you do it. The tikkun itself is beyond time and place. It's called the tikkun of Rosh Hashanah. And we affect this tikkun like the kind of shiras and tishbachas that we do on Rosh Hashanah, the kind of tefillas that we do on Rosh Hashanah. We are doing it within the realm of time and place, the shach to us. It affects a tikkun of tikkun Rosh Hashanah by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is beyond time. We cannot do the tikkun of Rosh Hashanah on Shavuos. We cannot do it on Tisha B'Av. But the tikkun of Rosh Hashanah is for the entire year. So this is in the Asogas Alakus, in the Makifim, in the surrounding Seichel attainments and Asogas. There, the years and the days and the decades, each one is just it's a label for a certain level of seichel. It's not something because it exists in a realm that there's no time at all, and the time itself, because that time of Olam Haba is called Olam Shekula Orech, a day that it is utterly long. Per definition, is long, which means it's without end. It does not begin, does not end. So the Seder, so what is the calendar over there? Spiritual, what's the calendar?
I have a question about it.
Yeah.
It says on Shabbat, I think when you take out the Torah, the Olam Moshe Bara, Olam Hazeh, Olam Haba.
Yeah.
It's mashmash is like a different world. A different world.
Well, listen, everything that has to do with the level of Gashmius, the levels even now, that is taking place now, it doesn't matter. The Elamot, we're talking level, spiritual, but we're talking about spiritual levels that exist quote unquote now, which is where they're inaccessible to us. They're Prinis Makifin, because they're already beyond time and place. It's a very delicate inyonim. They're called zmanim, but this zmanim is a euphemism because it's beyond time. We reach it by doing things within the realm of time. Chocolate lulav, keeping Shabbos, eating matzah, whatever it is, we are supposed to do it within the realm of time mamish. And that's the way, but the realm that we are influencing is beyond time. It's already pure seichel. The way we do it is we flip the switch in the realm of time and we do whatever it is that we needed to do. So we said that in V'zeh Chochem, there's a Sif Zayin. And it says as follows. V'zeh Chochem is this stage. We said that the attainment of the getting the seichel, that's the shashua, that's the pleasure of olam haba. And zeh this sage that is zocher to these makifin, that is order to attain these seichel. Pchinas shefa keta. We said the shefa keta, that's the bounty of the keta. We said olam hazeh. Like we're counting the sphere, so you count 1 day to the sphere, 2 days of the sphere, 14 days of the sphere, 2 weeks, and so forth and so on. All the spheres have to do within time and place. There's chokhmah, there's bina, there's das, there's chesed, bura, v'chula. It's all have to do, with us, with the creation. But above creation, there's a level. It's called keser, which is called the crown, which belongs, as it were, to Olam Haba. It belongs to Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's totally spiritual. Has no negia with the Gashmis. It's called Shefa Ketzer. The Makifin are getting the Makifin in Shashor Olam Haba. So that's the Shefa. I mean, when you enjoy something that you eat, popcorn, Coke Zero, whatever, okay? You take them outside, you put it inside. The Gashmis, it's like Makifin. You can understand it was like, you see a video of a chef, a cook, a cook. Yeah, some kind of, some fancy. I'm going to teach you how to make, beef Wellington. I don't know, whatever. It's like and instead of taking this and you're taking that, and you're taking a look at that, and like your mouth is salivating. It's like, look at that. It's like, wow, what a great idea, whatever it is. But you don't taste it, right? It's not inside you. Even begashmius, you have makifin. And the makif, that particular video, let's say you're watching a ball game, okay? We gave this example, okay? 9th inning, you're 2 runs down, 2 outs, 2 strikes. You're right there, 2 on. Okay? And are you going to hit a home run and win the game? Coming back and winning the game? What's it called? Walk-off, right? A walk-off home run, right? Or in a football game, when they throw whatever it is, like yeah, that's right. Whatever. Will it succeed? Will it not succeed? At the buzzer throwing it from 3/4 of the way down the court, whatever. You know what's going to happen if it's going to go in.
Hail Mary pass.
Right.
Hail Mary.
Yeah. So what could happen? That what you're looking for is a Pchinas Makif. It's a world that they created, the game, and okay, let's say that it's supposed to throw a ball, it's supposed to catch in the end zone, they're throwing a ball, going to the basket, or whatever the game is, what the Dimion is. But even there is what you did, whatever you already scored, what the score is. But that's something you already accepted, okay? But then there is, okay, the game is still on. Let's see what's going to happen. Are you going to hit a home run? Not going to hit a home run. You're going to score a touchdown. All this is makifin. When you see this, this is outside you. And when is the greatest pleasure? Pleasure that you make a steak, whatever it is, and after you ate it, there's no pleasure from it, right? You're just full of, can't believe I ate the whole thing. It's like, but when it's Pinas Makib, it's on the grill and it's sizzling and it's what is it? It's a promise. It's a promise for a pleasure to come. And then you can smell it. You can smell, wow, it's like like I'm salivating. This is Pinas Makif. And then you take and you put it in your mouth, and make a bracha, and you put it in your mouth. You taste it, it's wonderful. But that's it. Then it stops being a makif. Then it comes inside. It's a pnimi. You swallow it. Okay, so yeah, you stay. But so where's the excitement? Excitement is in the makif. But it has to do with you. If you're not hungry, they can cook 1,000 steaks around you. That's not going to do anything for you. I'm full. I'm sick. And if I put another morsel in my mouth, I'm going to throw up. I can't do it anymore. Okay, so they can cook steaks till the cows come home. Nothing's going to happen. It's not going to. So you have to feel there's a certain hunger to that. But take this whole thing and put it in ruchnius. Shefa makifin. It's something that it's there. There's a promise for gewaldige geschmack, enjoyment, and pleasure. But it's there. It's out. You don't have it in. Stuff that you already know. Okay, I know it already. Okay. Why aren't you getting excited putting a film today? Put film every day. It's like, it's a pnimi by me. But take somebody who's fry, hasn't put on film, and he suddenly gets excited with the idea of putting on film. And he puts on film. He told me how to do it. It was wow, it's a gewaldige thing. I put on film. Everybody put it. When it's outside, it's a makif. When inside, it's a pnimi. So, and it goes higher and higher and higher from being, imaginary, like the sports games and all those things, which are totally, nothing, gashmis and shtuyot. It goes to the emes, and you find out what it is. The same thing with, with learning, and then something with attainment. And the main thing is Gilu Elikus, the revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. This is the ultimate bringing Makifin in. You get your realization. That, by the way, we had like Ba'omer, that is the union of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. That is the union of Kabalah and everything. Is what is the Gilu of Kadosh Baruch Hu in this world. That's what Reb Shimon brought in. There are many, that's basically three schools of learning Kabbalah. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, we didn't speak about it before, so now it's a good time as any to talk about it. Shimon Bar Yochai taught, that it wasn't, the Zohar is not the Chidush of Reb Shimon. The Zohar is, what he got from Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva got from his Rabbi, and he got from Yochanan ben Akana, got from, Yochanan ben Zakkai, Rabbi Eliezer, and then Ben Orkanos, and he got from Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. It goes all the way back. The Zohar is not, and so Reb Shimon, taught the Zohar to his Talmidim. And now Reb Shimon, the thing that elicited these limudim were not great earth-shaking events. He would walk in the field, two Talmidim would walk this, and they find a child, or there's even an animal, and Chidush Torah would come in, will show you what is invested, what is hidden, what gems of spirituality are hidden in the Gashmis of this world. Shimon Bar Yochai revealed this Torah, then he passed away. Now, very little was written during the days of Shimon Bar Yochai, and his Talmud Rabbi Abba basically wrote the most of the stuff after Shimon passed away, and then Reb Shimon came, revealed himself to his Talmidim after he passed away. And he corrected some that they wrote, don't write it like this, write it like that. And then he still gave him new Giluyim, and they were written in a set called Zohar Chodosh. New Zohar. This is after it's just Talkos. We find the Gemara, the Yehuda on the sea, after he passed away, he came back to make Kiddush for his family, right?
How do you do that?
Well, it's a trick. Yes, how do I know he did that? I mean, you're talking about tzaddikim. That for them, the neshamas in Olam Hazeh, in Olam Haba, they can see it. In Sichas Ran you find it plenty. In Chayaran you find plenty of such instances when the neshamas came to Rabbeinu, and other people also saw them. And yeah, of course. The Saba Kadisha, Rav Alfandari, passed away at the age of 100 and something. He was a Talmud of the Chassam Sofer, and he was still alive in the previous century. He was already blind, but he learned it. The Litvish Talmud, Yeshiva Bochum used to come to him and learn with him. And he said, I don't know what he based it on, but if Rav Afandar, Saba Kadisha, said that he knew what he was saying, he said that he knows for a fact that the daughters of the Chassam Sofer saw the Ushpizin and the Sukkah. They saw. And the Chanami, it was because of the Kedusha of their father, Chassam Sofer, fine. I mean, but when you're clean, it says, and not only this, is before a person passes from this world, it says he sees all his relatives. They all come. And he says, the truth be told, that a great person can see his relative before he goes to sleep every night, without even trying.
People like that now?
Yeah. It all depends on how. Okay, so when you learn Kabbalah, So first of all, let's just give the history of the thing. So first of all, so they wrote it all, then they sealed it, and Reb Shimon said it has to be hidden. So it was hidden for 1,000 years. There's all stories of how it was revealed. There were all kinds of disputes. How real it is, how much of it is real, who wrote this, who wrote that, whatever. It was machlokes with Gdolim until Arizal came, and he said that Ramchal came before him, but I'm sorry, Ramchal came after him. Arizal said the entire Zohar is kuloi, the Torah from Shimon Bar Yochai, and kula kodesh kodeshim. And the Chazon Ish paskins like that. He says mefurish. He says that even though there were Gdolim that had the machlokes, the entire Shimon, the whole Zohar, the entire Zohar from Shimon, not whatever. He says, even though there are all kinds of machlokes, there were. He says, being that Arizal and his Talmidim all accepted the Zohar, the entire Zohar is genuine. He says, there's no longer any need to fear forgeries. The whole thing is genuine. And that's from the date of Arizal. Now, Arizal revealed the whole thing. In the Zohar, things are very opaque. Beautiful stories, beautiful things. Then you have the Idra Zuta, Idra Rabba. This is more Kabbalah. The language itself is very opaque, but the Zohar itself is basically, it's like stories and the telling, and you can't learn Kabbalah from Zohar. It's beautiful. It's the most poetic text you can ever imagine, but nevertheless, you can't learn Kabbalah from that unless you learn Kisvei Arizal. Once you learn Kisvei Arizal, you are able to learn Zohar a whole different way. Rabbi Kaplan used to say that it's like the Zohar, when you read the Zohar, it's like a person looks at a gold that it is yellow, and the silver that is white, and copper that is red. You don't know why. Well, says, but why? Once you learn, you learn the atomic structure, this solid state. I don't know if he was a physicist. I'm not. So you learn chemistry, whatever it is. You understand the properties of molecules, whatever it is. You understand why gold reflects yellow, and while the silver reflects white. The molecules reflect certain color, it looks white, and so forth and so on. He says, once you already know you have the Kisvei Arizal, you're able to mine the Zohar, it's endless mine, get more and more treasures out of it. Now comes the question, okay, fine. Now, Arizal revealed everything, all the Madrigas, all the Shemus, everything is, and there's the books of Arizal and so forth, and there's Talmidim, and then there's this Etz Chaim, the Pri Etz Chaim, of how you're supposed to apply everything to learn from Arizal. There are basically three schools of using Kabbalah, as it were. Okay? There is the good old, Sephardi, Yemenite school where you just learn it. They know the Zohar straight onwards and backwards. They know it by heart. In fact, they even know it upside down. Because there are very few books, so they learn how to read upside down also.
But they don't know what they're reading.
But they don't understand it. So what about all the names that belong to every sphere or whatever? So these are codes. So they know the names, they know the codes, they know the spheres. But what does it mean they don't understand? So but it was the first school that says, but there's a mitzvah to learn, and so you learn. So there was, because of what's good is learning without understanding. I'll tell you a story. Want to hear a story? I'll tell you a story. There was in Spain, it's a true story. There was in Spain, when the Jews were driven out of Spain, there were Marranos. They were forced, that didn't want to leave. So they faked, being Goyim. But they were keeping, Yiddishkeit at home. Now, there was a guy, I forgot his name. I know his first name is, I think, Yosef something or Yaakov something. Diego, I'm not sure, whatever it is. D, whatever. And he was a son of of a well-to-do family of Anusim, of Marranos. And he didn't even know he was Jewish. And he went to the army of the king of Spain at the time. And he was in the Navy, and he rose up and up and up, and he became an admiral. He was commanding of a fleet, was very successful, whatever. And he had a brother, and the brother was a member of the Inquisition, no less. Okay, they didn't even know that they were Jewish. And one day, the Inquisition captured him. I don't know what happened to his brother, but they captured him and then blamed him for being a hidden Jew.
Even though he was.
He was, but he didn't know. He didn't know. It's the first time that he heard that he's a Jew is the Inquisition let him know. Okay? Now, the Inquisition is that, they had the system of Stalin, whatever it is, no person, no problem. You have a problem, the problem is the person, get rid of the person, get rid of the problem. Inquisition had 100% success rate, in indicting people. You say, okay, we torture you until you confess. So they have 100% confession. What happens when a person confesses? They burnt him. Wonderful system. They're always successful. 100% success. So they found that whatever it is, they decide that they are they're going to execute him. Or to they fail, what it is, to burn them, or whatever it is. So the thing is that when they took him to be executed, his sailors, part of his sailors were also Anusim that didn't know that they were Jewish. They knew. And they loved him. He was a revered commander. They came and they attacked the procession and they saved him.
Sailors weren't Jewish.
They were Jewish. They knew that they were Anusim. He didn't know that he was but they loved him, and because our revered commander is being, is going to be executed for being a Jew. We also Jews. They came, they rescued him.
You were Jews too?
Yeah, the sailors were Jews, and they were Anusim. They knew that they were Jewish. They were in hiding. It's not all the soldiers. It's a certain band of sailors. And they loved him. Everybody loved him. All these sailors loved him. But, they're going, okay, what can you do? Is it faking to be a Jew? Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. You burn it, whatever. But these guys were Jewish. They were Muslim themselves. What do you mean you're going to burn? So they said, okay, we're going to take. They went and they rescued him. And they captured a ship, a warship, a Spanish warship. They took, and they sailed away with him as the commander, and they went to Jamaica. Now, in Jamaica belonged to the descendants of Columbus. He was given Jamaica as a present by the King of Spain for discovering America. So he got Jamaica as his own fiefdom, belonged to him. Now, Columbus himself was not Jewish, but he came from a Jewish family. Yeah, he came from a Jewish family.
He was Jewish.
I don't know what's the story was. I could say it was Jewish, it was Moharan, whatever it is. B'kitzur, so he and his descendants made a law: Inquisition is not allowed to step foot in Jamaica. Period. So they went to Jamaica. The ship went to Jamaica, and many other Moharaners, that wanted to escape the Inquisition, whatever it is, either they went to Amsterdam or they went to Jamaica. And there, they could be Jewish. And he went, what do you think he did? Him and his sailors, they became pirates. They became pirates. They made a deal with the powers that be in Jamaica, 50% for the government, 50% for us. And the only thing, they're robbing only Spanish ships. That's it. They're going to get the Spaniards good for that. And not only were they successful, and grew more and more, but there was another franchise of these pirates in Morocco. Jewish pirates. And you see by the graves that they have in Jamaica, you see the skull with the two bones, crossbones, with Zecher Tzadik L'Brocha in Lashon Kodesh. Yeah. Then they had another franchise in Amsterdam, in cahoots with the Dutch. The condition was they're pirating only Spanish ships. This thing lasted for 100 years. It was so successful. 100 years these pirates were, marauding the Spanish ships. Okay, now this guy became old. This admiral, this pirate, I forgot. I find his name. I'll let you know. He became old, and he went to Israel. He's no longer as young as he used to be. Taking, with swinging with the rope, with the scimitar or whatever it is. Couldn't do it anymore. That's for the young kids. It's not for me anymore. And he went to Israel, and he came. And what do you think? He came to Arizal. Arizal. That was the 1500s. All this, the Jewish flood was a 1490 or something like this, whatever it is. And that was 40, 50 years later. And he came to Tzfat, and whatever it is, he came to Arizal, and he told Arizal, listen, son, I killed many, many people. Hundreds, thousands, I don't know, whatever it means. I made other people kill people, whatever it is. So what should I do in order to purify myself? Enachinami, these are not, they didn't rob Yiddish men. It was a vendetta against the Spanish. But nevertheless, they killed people, whatever it is. So he told him, read a few pages there every day, even though you don't understand. From then comes the knowledge for people to know that there's an Indian to read Zohar, even though you don't understand. Okay, now the story closes. Close. Right. So that was. I say he's buried not far from Arizal. We don't know exactly where he's buried, but he's buried not far from Arizal. Anyhow, so this is one school. You learn. You understand, you learn. Arav Ashlag, the Baal Sulam, was a great Mekubal. He came to Eretz Yisrael, and he writes in the beginning of before his Pirush Sulam on the Zohar. He says that I spoke to, I met with the Sadishim Mekubalim, and he says that I saw they knew, everything, Etz Chaim, Zohar, everything back and forth, but he didn't understand a thing. And I said, what's going on with you? What do you mean you don't understand a thing? This was given to be understood, not just, to be recited like, I don't know, not to. So he wrote a parish. So that you are able to understand. The Indian is to understand. This is a shita which is the offshoot of the shita of the Ramchal. It says you need to understand what you're learning. And the reason why you need to understand what you're learning is because when you understand what you're learning, the Kabbalah, you are understanding the greatness, you're revealing the greatness of Kadosh Baruch Hu in this world, which you didn't understand before. These are makifin that we're never in. And with every single thing you see, every mitzvah that you do, you by putting on film, by shockling lulav, by eating matzah, whatever, you see and all the covenant. And when you do the kavanas, the yichudim that Arizal says and his Talmidim say, and the Rashash and all, and you understand what it is that you're doing, you get in Makif and you realize the greatness of Kodesh Baruch Hu, to the point that this world becomes like, so okay, this is all pnimi, it's nothing, I already know that. Then came the third school, which is the school of the Baal Shem Tov and the Hasidus. And now it becomes Kibetzelem Elokim Esai Sardon. Now, from the Sfarim, from the Baal Shem Tov and on, the whole thing is to reveal how the Asset Adam Betzalmoi with Musa, the Kadosh Baruch Hu made a person. If Sarich is Elokah, from my own flesh, I can see the divine. Kadosh Baruch Hu has made Adam Shenivra Betzelem. Tzelem means, Pipshat means like a die cast. It's a tzelem. Rashi says that Kadosh Baruch Hu had a tzelem, how the men will look, and that's the way he created him. But the Baal Shem and his Talmidim taught us that a person, it's already based on in Arizal, but in the Baal Shem Tov there's a voida the right hand is akin to the Midas Chesed, and the left hand is Rames to the Gvura, and so forth and so on. But the Shita of Baal Shem, and especially you see in Likutey Moharan, that the Gufa Adam is when you do something, when you masaken your midos, like we're doing Sphere Soimer, the sphere I did today will fix this and this sphere, and this will fix whatever it is I damaged in, this particular sphere, and so on, like we say, when we count Sphere Soimer. So you can see already, for instance, Torah Vov. Okay, so Torah Vov, the Kavonis Elul. This is the divinations, the meditations of the month of Elul. What's got to do with it? They talk about tshuva. How do you do it? When you hear your bizayon, you hear your shame, and you keep quiet. You don't say anything. With this, you make the tikkun of kavanos elul. You don't get rattled. You know how to, when things are good, you don't get too high. You don't get it doesn't turn your head. And if you get too low, you don't get too rattled. This is Torah Vav, Likutey Moharan Chelek Aleph. So these kind of inyonim of, if you look only for the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's right.
These
Then
are what you think?
these are the kavanot of Elul. This is the meditations of Elul. The kavanot Arizal, the brings is Kasal Besegol, Sagdechirik. These are shemis that Arizal. So if you take a look at Likutey in Torah Vav, Likutey Moharan, when you are doing tshuva, when you are accepting a bizoyin quietly, that's the main tshuva. And when you're becoming baki b'ratzov v'shov, when you're becoming, very proficient, when things are very, very good, not to get too big for your britches, and when things are too low, not to get rattled and fed up, but realize that's part of the course. This is, you learn how to, with this, you are creating, you are being mechav in the meditations of Chodesh El. That's the preparation for Rosh Hashanah. Who's supposed to do tshuva? Malachim? No. We're supposed to do tshuva. If Sarich Hazeh Eloka. Chatzidus shows you, it takes the Kabbalah and shows you how to live your life in such a way that you fix all the kavanos of Arizal in your own physical existence, clearing that thoughts from your head, and there's a Bris Olam is this. There are many Torahs that teach how to affect the kavanos Arizal and the entire Kabbalah with your life. And with this, you live your life as according to Kabbalah, and every single thing that you do, every thought that you have, if you one less look where you're not supposed to look, you're creating these kind of tikkunim, these kind of when the bad thoughts coming into you and you're pushing them out and you go something else, you are mekayim the tzimtzum of the that's Chaim says in the very beginning. Now we're talking about how you live your life. Is it you are revealing the Metziat HaKadosh Baruch Hu with every step of your life, according to this is all shtalshalus in trickle effect from the Giluyim of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. It's all Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, and it is critical because the world was created for that. When Rabbeinu came to Keresh B'Yavne, they said the Torah is going to be forgotten from Am Yisrael. The Seder Torah should tishtokach Am Yisrael. And Rabbeinu says in the Psicha, in the beginning, before the first time Likutey Moharan, he said, Omer Rab Shimon, Chas v'Sholom. He promised the Torah will never be forgotten. And he brings a pasuk, for he shall not be forgotten from the mouths of his offspring. Now, why did Chazal say it's going to be forgotten? He says, and I shall for surely hide my face, at that day. Chazal said the Torah will be forgotten. It's not going to be forgotten. So they were to know him. He was a Tanner, and he said he wrote his pasuk. So comes the question: what did they do with his pasuk? What did Rav Shimon Bar Yochai do with B'Ten Shukei B'Yavne pasuk? It says that it's neither to be forgotten, and he said Kilo Shalom Pizari. It's not to be forgotten. So how do you teach it? So the Chazal says, what does it mean? It has to do with the Shira Sazinu. That he said that will not be forgotten, which means the Torah itself will be forgotten, but Chas v'Chalil Am Yisrael is going to have a lot of trouble, and they'll remember the Torah. They'll remember the Shira Moshe Rabbeinu said, "You know why this is happening? Because you left the Kadosh Baruch Hu. This will not be forgotten." Shimon says no. He says and you see later on in the pasuk that said Kisvach Shira Azois, Moshe Rabbeinu orders Am Yisrael to write the Torah. That is the last mitzvah from Tayag mitzvahs. It's the last one to write a Sefer Torah. How do you know? Where does it say to write it if that's a mitzvah? You should write this shira. So that's a proof of Shimon that the shira talks about the entire Torah, not just that particular shira sazinu. But the Torah, so what? Okay, so what, Shimon, what do you do? I should for surely hide my face. What do you do? It says like this: that how to mimikai mitzvahs will never be forgotten. What are the timing? What are the reasons? What are the this will be forgotten. This, the real timing of the, the Shloshis Midos, all this will be forgotten. Well, just know, okay, this is how you do. You take a little of chocolate, whatever the tefillin look like this. This is how you construct them. This is how you put them on. This we will know. What are the secrets about this? And Shimon says that Shimon said that not only that he won't be forgotten, he won't be forgotten according to him, by him. He's, and he says in the Zohar, the Sifra Da, in this particular series, the Sefer Zohar, I'm sure is going to come out of the Golos, B'rachamim. The entire world was created for the Geula, right? That's the reason. Otherwise, why create the world? If the Torah be forgotten, there'll be no Jews. No Jews, what do you need the world for? The Geula is all depends. So it says, because the Sefer Zohar, and we learn the three schools of learning Kabbalah, of learning Zohar, how you be Mekayim, how you be Megala, the Tach is the reason for which the world was created for. And there is another siman that, and the Rebbe takes these two inyan, and one of them that the Torah should not be forgotten, and B, that the Torah that you don't forget it through Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, which is Sefer Zohar, and puts them both in one proof, because Kilos Yishokach Pizar, for he should not be forgotten from the mouth of his offspring, is the last letters of this pasuk is the letters Yochai. In other words, the pasuk says as follows: for he should not be forgotten, the Torah will never be forgotten from Am Yisrael. Nipi, who is going to make it? Zara, whose offspring? The one who is alluded to in the last letters of the word Yochai. Who is this offspring? Reb Shimon. So the remez. The pasuk itself is alluding to something, and Sofa Tevis, Rosh Tevis belongs to the level of remez of Torah. That remez to reference told. So within both proofs are being brought in one pasuk, in one kilo. First, the Torah is forgotten. B, that the one who will and make it so that it will never be forgotten is of Shimon Bar Yochai. Now, but there are so many people who don't learn Torah. They don't learn Kabbalah, they don't learn Torah, they don't learn Kabbalah, they don't learn Zohar. What's it got to do with them? Sure, okay, you learn Zohar, I understand. But what if you don't? Answer is exactly right. It doesn't matter. Once there's Shimon in the world, once there's Zohar in the world, even though it was hidden, Torah will never be forgotten. Am Yisrael, there's the promise that will never be broken. There's a little child that goes to Cheder to learn Aleph Beis. He'll learn Aleph Beis in Chumash with the Korach of Shimon Bar Yochai. There were no Zohar, there will be no Ponivish. There will be no Shivas Chevron. There would be Shivas Mir. Without the Zohar, there'll be all the Shitas. It doesn't matter what you are, you're Litvak, you're Chassid, you're this. Without Reb Shimon and the Zohar Kodesh, none of that will have a kiyum, would have an existence. The Kedar Reb Shimon is Smoch al Shabbat Chak. In Chashavas, it says that when it's time of distress, it is worthy to rely on Reb Shimon. We are learning, we are now B'Shas Chak and the Golos and everything. Kedar Reb Shimon Lismoch alav B'Shas Chak. Reb Shimon is reliable, to be leaned on, to be trusted in the time of distress. Kodesh Baruch Hu, Hashem, should give us refuah shleima, Yeshua shleima, Geula shleima, B'es Mashiach, B'es Hamikdash, Mehera B'meinu, Amen, B'erat Hashem. But Shabbos, now we have this coming Shabbos is Ba'al B'Chukoisai. It's the passion of this week. And people are wondering, like, why did October 7th happen? Look at Pashas Bechol Koisa. You'll see why it happened. Hashem Yerachim. They're looking, whose fault is it? Who's guilty? You're guilty. Hashem Yazor, nobody will guilty. Kadosh Baruch Hu, B'zat Hashem will redeem the Rishonim together with the Tzaddikim. B'schos Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Amen, B'zat Hashem. Exactly. Shachta Sheicha.